Let's see what's going on.
Welcome back. We are taking you beyond the gavel. Those cases that haven't played out in front of a jury with a trial yet, but the investigation and everything leading up has our attention. In Florida, former NFL star Antonio Brown, he was back in court today. He appeared via Zoom. He's charged with attempted second-degree murder following a shooting incident that happened during a celebrity boxing match in Miami. So before we get into what happened today in court, let's get you caught up on this case. Here's Court TV anchor Michael Ayala.
It was just before midnight on May 16, 2025, when a fight erupted inside a celebrity boxing event in Miami. And quickly,
the footage that we saw before that we broke down was nowhere near this clear. Damn.
Spilled outside. Police say 2 shots were fired, but by the time they arrived, the alleged victim had left. Security guards identified the shooter as former NFL player Antonio Brown. Prosecutors charged Brown with attempted second-degree murder months later. He is accused of allegedly shooting Zulkarnain Nantambu with a security guard's gun.
We've entered a not guilty plea, demanded trial by jury, requested all of the evidence pursuant to Rule 3.220.
Brown, an all-pro wide receiver, spent 12 years in the NFL, playing for teams including the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His attorney, Mark Iglar, says his client was legally carrying a gun that night and that the shooting was in self-defense. Brown says he was attacked as he left the arena and that he didn't fire at Nantambu. He fired near him to scare him off.
This case is clearly overcharged as an attempted second-degree murder. Even the judge.
So, because of the evidence, the cameras, the witnesses, even the person that did the TMZ breakdown the night in question, right, that was allegedly punched in the face when everything first kicked off, that Antonio has the history with, there's too much evidence to say was no gun. They got the video of that. There was no shooting. They got the evidence and recordings of that. There was no situation. So is this showing right here the defense that he's got to go with is that it wasn't an attempted murder? Instead, this was more so like an escape attempt where I'm shooting to scare these people away. I'm shooting at the ground. Wow. So he's not even going to be walking in there just trying to beat everything. It's trying to designate whether you aim the gun. Like, remember Rocky's case with the footage, with the witness that's telling ASAP Relly and all the stuff that's going on. There is no ability to say that nothing got shot at. ASAP went the route of it wasn't a gun. It was a prop gun. It wasn't a real gun. Okay. Wow. I mean, when you fight in a mountain of evidence, if you're going to walk in there and try to tell us that the sky ain't blue, you're already losing. Shit. So now you just got to try to substantiate and beat the charge of it was an attempted murder. Here I am. I'm just shooting in the sky. I'm shooting at the ground. I'm trying to clear the crowd and get myself up out of here. Wow.
Judge said, at worst, we're talking about aggravated assault.
Is that his lawyer saying at worst we're talking about aggravated assault? Was that an omission to what he possibly did then? Is that what he just said? Ooh. Look at this. Look at these girls over here on the right. They got their cameras up. Are they holding cameras? This girl right here with a back turn, she's oblivious to what the fuck is going on here about a truck. This guy right here with the blue sweater over his shoulder, he don't just got his cell phone camera up. He got the tripod or the nimble holding the camera and everything. What other cameras? This guy right here got a camera in the air with the black t-shirt back here. This guy with the red hat, he got his cell phone up. This hand right here got his cell phone up. This guy right here got his cell phone up. Oh my, this person right here, silver cell phone. This person right, hold on. Let me see if I can count this shit. 1 camera, white shirt, 2 camera, black t-shirt, 3 camera, red hat, 4 camera over here to the side, 5th camera right here with the chain, 6th camera right here with the writing on his sweats. 7th camera right here with the blue over his shoulder. 8th camera right here with the red at the bottom right-hand side of the screen. 9th right here, these girls over the top of the white truck. 9 to 10 cameras just in this radius. And that's not saying just this part where he kicks the guy, from the punches to the shots, because the shots happen allegedly after this, right? He allegedly, after the fight and everything, goes to his truck and then comes back with it, allegedly, right? This is why people see shit like this and they start jumping out and saying, you cooked.
Brown says Nantambu was waiting for him outside the event to attack him. Brown says,
you threw the first punch. Okay.
It happened before. Brown's motion to dismiss the charges alleges Nantambu attacked him back in 2023. He also claims,
so the night in question, when he got arrested but released, it was all a jewelry robbery attempt. Then you say he attacked me, and here goes the footage. You threw the first punch. Now we're on to the third excuse. Oh, no. They didn't try to rob me there. Or no. He didn't hit me first there. He hit me first back in 2022. So when I seen him, I hit him back here. Huh? You cooking yourself, so it seems.
Nantambu was previously jailed for 30 days in Dubai for stealing jewelry from him. Brown, who was arrested in Dubai and extradited back to Miami, is free on $25,000 bond. He could face 15 years behind bars if convicted.
Now, here's a look at what happened today in court. Antonio Brown's attorney is asking prosecutors for DNA results that he says will prove his client lawfully owned a gun he's accused of using in this case. Now, the judge wants to move this case forward and schedule Brown's stand your ground hearing, but
Brown's attorney is asking prosecutors for DNA results that he will prove his client lawfully owned a gun he's accused of using. That's not the full battle. I'm caught up there on that bullet point. Why do you need DNA evidence to prove that you lawfully own a gun? The DNA will prove whether you fucking touched the gun or not, right? You want to prove that you own that you lawfully own it, like just show your gun license or some shit like. No, what does the DNA come in? I don't understand that part. I don't get it.
There are some depositions that need to take place, so the defense says they can't get any of that done until all of that is finalized. And a key detail also surfaced today that there is a holster that's in evidence belonging to Brown that was left at the scene. So this goes to the defense's claim that he did fire his own legally owned weapon, not one taken from a security guard trying to break up.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. The security guard's gun. Because that would prove to be, I guess, more reckless. If you have security guards and you go, yo, give me that gun, and you want to put in your own work, and reckless from a legal standpoint. You know, as far as regular, if you ask niggas in the street, they call that just putting in your own work. You know, like, shit, give me the gun. You know what I'm saying? It's my situation or whatever. All right, so that makes sense now for me for the DNA, but I don't think that's going to be the main fight. Yeah, you're going to fight a piece of why you got the gun, how you got the gun, and whose gun was it. But the circumstances are still going to also boil down to how this started, why it started, who hit who got jumped. We have video footage of this, who shot, and what do we believe those shots were intended to do? Scare people away by shooting at the ground, or was it an attempted murder? Like his lawyer said, at best, aggravated assault.
The fight. So that next status hearing is set for February 25th. Of course, Antonio Brown is out on bond. Let's bring in our power panel and get their opinion on this case. We've got Lisa Bonner, Josh Schiffer, and Jared Ferrantino. Jared, I'm going to start out there with you. This is one of those cases where we keep getting new bits of video, different angles. There's so many people in it. Before we get into the details, I really want to know your overall opinion of this case.
Well, Mark Eiglarsh is a very good lawyer, and he's very confident that he's going to be able to properly claim Antonio Brown was standing his ground. And in Florida, once a defense attorney says that, there's no duty to retreat. It's on the state to show he was not reasonable in being fearful and shooting the victim in this case. That's the bottom line. That's where we're headed. So he's not saying I didn't do it, which is pretty obvious. He's saying I was justified. The issue of whether or not it's his gun is pretty paramount, because in addition to a stand your ground law, the elements of the law, you have to lawfully possess that gun. You cannot necessarily use someone else's gun in that situation. That's why that seems to be a hang-up for everyone. And they're waiting for DNA results, which will have Brown's, they're hoping have Brown's DNA on it. And it's his holster which held that.
I'm going to tell you why I still am a little curious there. As this man is talking, we're going to watch the video play in the back. I'm going to put it on mute. Okay. Now watch this footage in the background. Okay, so shit is going down. Okay, you see Antonio Brown coming from the truck or from back here and coming back towards Drama after he'd been gripped up, allegedly, right? That's what I don't understand. I mean, listen, you guys bring on these court TV analysts or lawyers or ex-judges or whoever. That doesn't mean what they say is fucking law. I have some questions for his take here. My question is, how do you interpret that as stand your ground? A lot of us have looked into stand your ground, did stand your ground type of training, seen stand your ground situations, Trayvon, like stand your ground. I understand there's always in every shooting some gray area. That's why you end up going to trial and letting a jury hear out the details, okay? There's always going to be gray area. But one thing that's more on the side of black and white when it comes to stand your ground, meaning that you don't have to retreat. Retreating to, for example, safety, okay? Retreating out of the danger zone, retreating to your car, retreating back into your home, retreating down the block, okay? You don't have to retreat. So here I am. I'm presented with a problem or an issue, and I have a firearm, for example, okay? And somebody punches me, and I'm not dead, and I can run and just not take this ass whooping or try to fight this person. I can run. But when it comes to use of deadly force or using a firearm in certain states that have the stand your ground law, I don't have to run, even if that's an option for me. I can take that hit, have an exit, but not use it, stay right here, draw my weapon, and defend myself. Stand your ground, okay? I don't see how that constitutes me having a fight, even if you're telling somebody he hit me first or they were trying to rob my jewelry. Air quotes, retreating, going off to another location, even if it's 10, 15 feet away. Retreating, leaving this right here, going somewhere else, arming up, and then coming back or chasing down. I don't see how that can ever constitute stand. Just also think about it like this, people. Let me put you out in an extreme circumstance. Imagine if it was your child, God forbid, or a relative. I don't want to use children. Let's say it's a friend, a cousin. I'm getting fucking, you know what I'm saying? The goosebumps thinking about anything close. Somebody you know, right? Somebody you know. And you care about this person enough to care about how it all played out. And you find out that your homie or this person that you know you care about got into a fight, and the person that they got into a fight with ended up running away somewhere, let's say jumping into the trunk of a car 10, 15, 20 feet, 30 feet away, grabbing a joint, and then coming back and chasing at your homie and then lighting them up or shooting at them. Now, we could all say the streets are the streets, right? But how would you feel if that same person that went and grabbed that joint came back and chased your homie down and shot at him, then claimed stand your ground? Would you think that if your homie was going through this litigation, this court process, would you think that they belong with having a defense used against them of stand your ground? How? You went away from the situation and gripped up and came back or chased down. Like, I don't know. Put it this way, people. If you're ever in a stand your ground situation that you believe and you feel like that's the best way fit to defend yourself, which is with deadly force, I would never advise leaving and going to get something and coming back. That's a very, very hard day in court.